Alright, welcome back, guys. In this video, we are going to cover associative arrays, aka JavaScript maps. Our project is to be able to edit each of these policies and also to make sure that each policy number is unique. So let's get started. You're already familiar with, at least I hope you are, normal arrays. Normal arrays being the two-dimensional arrays. You have left and right, and you can just enter things onto the end of it, pop things out of it, or sort it. The problem with these arrays is that they're not associative, meaning there's no real index apart from the order of the items themselves. Like item 0 was the first one, item 1 is the second one, and so on and so forth. But what if we have this database of policies, each one with a different number and a different ID, and you already have the number, but you don't know how to get from that number, which might be arbitrarily high, like 3100. You want to get to right to that account. And an array will only work with this if no policies have ever been deleted, and it'll also only work if you are comfortable with having a very fixed amount of IDs. Like, what if you wanted to use ID space, the thousands for your VIPs, the 10,000s for your really VIPs, the 100,000s for your normal customers? It won't let you do that. You can only have 0 through however many you've put into the system. So you probably want an associative array. And for that, I'm gonna show off this instead. So we're gonna keep our policies list, and I'll tell you why later. But we're also gonna add policies map equals new map. And what does this do? Well, you'll see. And we're also going to say let next num equals 0, or next ID, whatever we call it. I'll call it next num. So let's see down here. What we're going to do is we're going to make a small modification to this policy thing down here. We're going to get rid of this policy num. It won't ask for that anymore. Instead, we'll just pass it next num, and we'll increase next num by 1 every time it runs, so the policy number is now automated. So we're also going to add to this map. Now, an associative array is added to using the set method. Policies map.set. And what shall we use for its ID? It needs a key to associate with it. In this case, we're going to be using account IDs. So we'll use next num, and the value will be the new policy. Notice that's the actual object here. Now, the question then is, what good is this for? Well, let's add some more menu items here, shall we? If we want edit, we want 3 to be quit program. Console.log 2 is now to edit policy. And we'll also console.log 3 display policies. So 4 is now quit program. Edit policy. And break. So case 3, display policies, and then break. Okay, so what do we have here? we will add a confirmation down here. Added to the system. So we don't actually have an edit policy or a display policies, but we're going to need to do that. So why don't we add some in? Function edit policy. First thing we're going to need to know is the account ID of this policy. So we can actually just use let pnum policy number equals lib.getNumber. Please enter policy number. And now how do we check to see if it exists in the system? Well, for a map, you use the has policies map.has. You'll notice if I bring this up, it takes a key of any sort of object, and it returns a Boolean. Yeah, this is how you read that little pop-up menu. It returns Boolean, and Boolean is just a short way to... Boolean is just the official way to say true or false. So we'll put in either it has pnum or it doesn't. So let's try this out. We're not going to actually run the full program yet. We're just going to run this and see what happens. So... oh right, I gotta uncomment that. It's how silly. Okay. Okay, so calculate premium. Andrew Bastian, 11/14/1986 to 14/2018 to, and display policies. It displays my policy. I'm 0. Now if I put Wyatt back in here and Young's and 11/14/2000, I don't really know what your date is, so whatever, man. 2018. And display policies. Now we have 2, and it automatically incremented the policy number. So if I do edit policy, it'll be running this function right here. So we have let pnum equal lib.getNumber. Now we know we have 0 and 1. So if I do 1, it says true. Right there. If I do 0 or -1, we get a false. So this has, all it does is it checks to see if this exists in the map. So if policies map.has, or rather if not. Now take a close look at this. I'm going to put an exclamation mark in here. This means not. In other words, it reverses the true. If it's true, it's false. If it's false, it's now true. So if not, policies map.has pnum. If it doesn't have it, then console.log policy number not found, return. That exits edit policy and it goes back to your case here. But if it does have it, then you want... Then what do you want? Let's say we want let policy equal policies map dot get. Now get also takes the key we made earlier, and get will retrieve our object. So if I print console.log policy, I wish I could save my Andrew Bastian 11/14/1986 0/14/2018 calculate premium Wyatt Young's. Well, whatever, I made a typo there. Whatever. So if I display policies, we have we can fix that later. So I can now edit policy, and I want to edit policy 1. It prints only policy 1. That's caused by the .get, which assigns the value of this number, which is the object, to policy. Then we're printing the policy out. Not very useful, but now you can see what this does. If I were to, on the other hand, edit policy -1, it just errors. Policy not found. So, let's do something a little bit crazy. So we're going to enter a new, let's say, let keep editing equals 1, while keep editing. So we're making a new while loop, and we'll say switch lib.getNumber. Please enter a choice. So we're making a whole new menu within a menu. Console.log 1 first name. Console.log 2 last name. Console.log 3 birth date. Console.log due date. Accidents. Okay. With me so far, guys, watch this. So, case 1, policy dot set first name. I haven't created this yet, so it's not going to do much good. And console.log 6 quit editing. Case 2, policy.set last name, break. Case 3, policy.set birth date. Case 4, policy.set due date. Forgot break there. Policy.set accidents. And if they type case 6, keep editing equals 0. That'll break us out of this loop. And if they default, console.log invalid choice. We'll print the policy information each time it runs. Now we have to create these little methods on the policy, so we'll do that. We'll say set first name, and this dot first name equals lib.getText new first name. Set last name. This last name equals lib.getText new last name. I'm getting sloppy. Set birth date. This dot birth date equals lib.getDate new birth date. And set due date. This dot due date equals lib.getDate new due date. And set, oh wait, that's not quite spelled right. There we are. Set accidents. This dot accidents lib.getNumber new at fault accidents in last 3 years. Okay, this should work, I think. So let me break out of this, run it again, calculate premium. Add to the system. Calculate policies. It's showing me. So now if I add Wyatt Young's and display policies, we now have 2, and I can go to edit policy. I'll edit Wyatt Young's accidents. So edit accidents to 4. Notice how it changed. I can quit editing. It brings us back to the main menu, display policies, and notice how we have mine and his. I can go back into edit policy, plus number 0, that's me, and it'll change my birth date, let's say 11/15/1986. Let's say I typoed it for some reason. Now it's showing 11/15. Quit editing. Display policies. We have now managed to make this program not only have a nice little menu, you can add multiple policies and just keep adding more policies and keep listing different policies. Pretty awesome, huh? Let's call it quits for now.